Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. We all know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is, Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM-certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. And who doesn't want that? So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. Hey there, and welcome to episode 119 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She is Julie Dobbs. We are pleased to be with you in the studio today. Yes. Were we in studio last time?
Last time I was at the beach and you were at your mom's apartment.
That's right. Oh my God. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. It'll come back.
Okay. So in full disclosure, in being the mom game, we talk about all the crap that's going on. Can you list like the things that you're trying to juggle right now?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's baseball season. So I got the Rangers.
Uh-huh.
And then
job.
I'm always slinging wine. Scout and Cellar. We got the mom game.
The mom game.
Building a house.
Building a house.
Trying to sell a house.
Trying to sell a house.
And then trying to stay married.
Trying to stay married.
And keep 2 children alive.
And keep 2 children alive who are going to different camps.
So many. No, this week.
Did the camps align?
It's the holy grail of camps. Have you ever heard of Camp Thurman?
No.
Oh my gosh. Now, granted, it's in like Pantego, Dalworthington Gardens. I don't know. Somewhere.
I've never heard of any of those things.
It's like 20 minutes from my house.
Okay.
But I will tell you, it is worth every mile that I drive, every minute that it takes, because you drop them off at 8:30 and you don't pick them up until 4 o'clock.
Oh, nice. This is exactly what you called for.
This is what I called for. But we are frequent visitors of Camp Thurman. It's every summer. My kids love it. I don't know what they do with these children all day. Whatever it is, they love it, and it makes them exhausted.
Nice.
It is amazing. So, yes, that all will, change after this week. But for right now, camp's under control. Now we're doing carpooling, and I've got the mornings because my afternoons are so crazy. But again, worth it. Totally, totally worth it.
Well, good.
Even though like the carpooling is ridiculous, like the kids are farting and burping the entire time.
Carpooling is crazy.
So yeah, and they all feed off of each other. So I try to do anything to distract. I'm like, who wants to pick a song? Yeah. So, but my car smells like a blend of farts and sunscreen. It's like so disgusting. And lovely. I just wonder, at what age is it not going to be hilarious to blow your ass out in a car in front of your friends?
Turn on the freaking ticket, and they're still freaking laughing about it as 60-year-old men.
I know.
I don't know. Why is that so funny?
I don't know. And Hattie, let me just tell you what this 9-year-old girl can do with
I've heard her doing her burping.
It's
Does she do it for her friends?
Oh, now she thinks it's a party trick, and she thinks it's funny as hell. And my poor girlfriend, Lisa, her mother, Nina's like 70, I don't know, picks him up from camp. And I'm like, how did it go? And farting and burping the whole time. Hattie's got quite a gift. It's like.
That's what she told you?
No. But Lisa was like, yeah, Mom said that they're burping and Hattie and Ben were having like a contest or something. I don't know. But it's like, anyway, needless to say, a lot of shit going on. But yeah, but we're making it. Summer's crazy. I mean, what would I do if I was like bored or something?
I don't know. You wouldn't be able to handle it.
No.
Yeah.
I'd suck at being bored. So.
I do always have like carpool anxiety about what my kids do in other people's cars because you just have no idea. Yeah. And then, or even a play date. And I've been in the position where, like, say someone comes to your house for a play date and they're like a total little S. And then the parents come and they're like, how was it?
What do you say?
What do you say?
Oh yeah, we had it last night. So, and the babysitter was like, like how'd it go? Like I could tell, like, oh,
with your kid,
yes. And then
she's like,
so that say no more. I get it. And it was,
but I appreciate
but
that.
It wasn't just my kids. It was the early kids too. Like it was 4 children. This is the first time we've ever had this babysitter. And they're all feeding off each other, I'm sure. And anyway, so I don't think she was impressed with the 4 children.
Yeah.
In her first exposure to them. And they weren't impressed with her either. You get in the car and they're like, are we going to have that babysitter again? And I'm like, I don't know. I hope not. And I'm like, well, why?
Tell us how you really feel.
Right. But so probably they were.
It wasn't a match.
Right. So they were probably jackasses and she was not impressed by their jackassery. So I don't blame her.
It's funny. The younger the babysitter, the more honest they are, I think, because they don't know. They don't care about but if it's a mom, you're like, no, everything was wonderful. We can't wait to have little Johnny come back.
Yeah.
Because that's just what us moms do.
Yeah.
But the gala was good. You emceed the Rangers gala.
Darius Rucker was in the house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was fun.
Did he sing Wagon Wheel?
Of course he sang Wagon Wheel. He saved it for the end.
We played that. Well, I remember that song from my wedding, and that also reminds me as I'm
Wagon Wheel was out when you got married?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is that song?
I don't know. I feel like it was even a remake of something even older.
But was it Darius Rucker singing it? Okay. I was like, wait a second.
He covered
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Who sang it from the beginning?
I don't know. I have to Google it.
He did a lot of covering. So he did Purple Rain too.
Oh, really?
Which I thought was very ballsy. I mean, he did great. But I'm like, who covers Prince? Like,
I think he covered Old Crow Medicine Show. It came out in 2004. Old Crow. That I did know that. That sounds familiar.
I've never heard of it.
But yeah, you talked about trying to stay married, and that reminded me of my wedding, which reminded me that today's my anniversary.
How many years?
Happy anniversary, husband.
Happy anniversary.
It is 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, and it's. You are? When's yours? I know.
July 4th.
Okay.
July 4th.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Do y'all do anything? We don't. It's just a day.
I mean, we might go out to dinner or something.
So we went to dinner over the weekend to celebrate in advance because we ended up, I don't even know if I told you this, I ended up kidless for the weekend.
Whoa.
I know. It was amazing. Amazing. We came back from the beach and Kelly and I both had something on Friday, and my mom had been kind of wanting to have the kids. She likes doing like a Camp Gigi and Papa or whatever, which in theory is like a week, but we only had a few days where we could do it. So we just left them with my parents. So they drove them to Austin, and Kelly and I drove from Port Aransas to Dallas by ourselves. Like the 7-hour drive. I'm like, driving is so easy. Oh yeah, I slept. I have this really wonderful trait where I can just like in the car. It's amazing. I can pretty much do it on planes too. But it's not very nice because he gets bored. Yeah. But we got back, and then he golfed, and I played tennis for like 4 hours one day, and we just were us. I like texted some girlfriends. I was like, I have my house alone in the pool. Anybody want to come over and just like lay around and do nothing, and don't bring your kids? And
one caveat, do not bring
children. So I got 3 girls to come over, and we just hung out. And then that night, Kelly and I had our pre-anniversary dinner. So yes, happy anniversary to Kelly. And I also highly recommend, if you can, ship your kids away for like 3 days.
I know.
Because I feel like that was our anniversary weekend, and it really was really good for us. Because it's like a very weird feeling to be like, oh, I can just go play tennis, and then I can meet him after he plays golf, and we can hang out and have dinner, and we're not like having this overlying like weight on our shoulders of when we're going back to the sitter and how much we have to pay them. Yeah.
Mike and I had our first dinner out without kids, or our first dinner out together in probably months since baseball season started.
Really?
We had that over the weekend. My mom took Hattie, and Henry was in Boston with his aunt. And so it was.
Did you feel renewed a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, there's so many things to catch up on. So we was caught up on stuff and like, what's been going on with this, what's going on at work. And I mean, we literally are at this point in time, we are just 2 ships passing in the night and in the morning. I mean,
you're operating a business together.
Right. We just don't, we just don't see a whole lot of each other, especially during baseball season. So, Anyway, so yeah, that's a good thing.
That's good.
It's a good thing. Yeah. I mean, I think we still like each other. Yeah, it'll be 13 years.
Wow.
On July 4th. 13 years.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Hanging on. Both of us are hanging on.
Hanging on. All right, let's get into some sports.
Oh, and happy Father's Day, too.
Oh, yeah. That happened.
That happened.
Father's Day, yeah. Let's get into some sports squirts.
Yes.
Presented by...
Sports squirts presented by our friends at Bottle Rover. If you don't know what Bottle Rover is just yet, well, they are an alcohol delivery platform. I think this is very beneficial to moms because if you're like me, you go to the grocery store, you're buying the fruit, you're buying the things for turkey and ham sandwiches and all of that, and you're not necessarily bringing your kids to the liquor store. And sometimes it's an afterthought, and then all of a sudden, like you have your girls over to your pool or whatever it is, and you need it. Bottle Rover can help. Don't fret. You download the app on your phone, just like any other app, and you can do a little search. You can find what it is that you're looking for, and they will find a liquor store that is nearby to you, and they will have somebody go buy it and bring it to your front door. I've done it. I timed it. It was less than an hour on Memorial Day at that, on a holiday. And so it's super easy. Support our friends here on the show. Support Bottle Rover. They're local and they are great people. It's a great business, something that you want to support. So thank you, Bottle Rover, for joining us once again here on the Mom Game.
Okay, so some sports happenings. Not really a whole lot going on with the Cowboys. Mavericks made a trade for what's his head? Wood.
Christian Wood.
Yeah. Don't know much about him, but apparently everybody said like it's a win-win-win-win. The only bad thing is we lost Boban.
We did.
Yeah.
We lost Boban, but really I felt like he was almost like a mascot.
He definitely was, but that doesn't take away from his greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, like according to everyone on the planet, it was a total win for the Mavs.
Yeah, I think because
and the draft is coming up.
And the draft is coming up this weekend.
Have you been doing your draft research?
I did. I had to do draft profiles for the ticket.
Right. You did.
So I was doing that last night.
Boris Zuziak or
no
whatever?
Boris Zuziaks this year. They can't fool me anymore. Although they probably could, because I just literally I'm Google it, and the Boris Zuzek one was one that Mike wrote. So I didn't have to do the research on my own. So I literally, it was like a rip and read. I just read it so I could go home. I didn't think about it. The one that was a prank.
Boris Zuzak doesn't actually exist.
Boris Zuzak does not exist.
Okay.
But I did profiles for 3 guys that do exist last night. But that's about the extent of my profile research or NBA draft research.
Yeah.
But no, I think that this trade was really good because he's immediately going to be the team's starting center, which was a position of need.
Yeah.
And he's also going to help defend, which was another position of need. He's a big man that the team needed. And then they only had to give up Boban, a fan favorite, but a couple of guys that weren't starters that you didn't know. I mean, not to say spares, but kind of.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why people think it's a win. If you can immediately insert somebody into your starting 5 in a position that you need. Now you're hearing people saying, oh my gosh, this Mavericks team, you got to watch out, like the national writers and everything else.
Yeah.
He came from the Rockets and he hopped around a bunch of different teams, I think like 5 or 6 or something, and which is maybe sometimes a bit of a red flag. And you did hear some people from Houston saying this and that, like nothing, he had never done anything terrible off the court or anything like that, but maybe that he wasn't a good fit with this team. You heard a couple people say he was a little bit lazy, didn't put in the work, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, to get somebody traded to you, there's going to be something like that. No one's going to trade you the perfect.
He's been on perpetual losing teams. I mean, that's wears on you as a human, period.
100%. So hopefully he'll be rejuvenated a la Spencer Dinwiddie, because that worked out here. From a situation that everyone said that he was trouble and all that. So I'm excited. It's awesome for the Mavs. Yeah. And I think that this new regime of Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd, they're getting things done. I love it. Props to the team. Props to Mark Cuban and the Mavs.
Okay. Rangers. We just can't. I mean, it's just so roller coastery, and it's not like a big giant roller coaster. It's like one of those little baby roller coasters, where it's just kind of.
They're not tanking, but they're
which
not
is a good thing.
Tanking off. Yeah,
like we had that one day at 500. It was so fun.
Yeah,
And then we haven't been back. And so, they just keep flirting with it, but and June was supposed to be the month because you're playing really below average teams outside of the Astros. Now they're playing the Phillies, which the Phillies are trending upward, but you went into this month thinking you can make some hay while the sun shines. Yeah. And they just haven't made a lot of hay. And I feel like the sun might be setting on the schedule.
How's the morale?
They're great. They're good.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, you're talking about a team that lost 100 games last year.
Right.
I mean, shit was bad. And so you are definitely seeing marked improvement. You're seeing young guys get exposed to situations. You're seeing young guys get come up big in situations that are not just getting their feet wet at the major league level to get their feet wet and see what it's like to fly on a private plane. These are big developmental things that are happening. And I think that's big. And so I would love for them to, if you could just rattle off like a 7 of 9 or 8 of 11 or something like that, it would do so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a little bit of it's a baby roller coaster right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's all right. It's probably better than anybody really was expecting at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And I think though, we'll have to go back and look at the show because I think I said they were going to improve I think I threw out like 20 games.
Oh.
Or maybe I did on another podcast. Anyway.
No, I remember that.
I feel like I was pretty bold in my prediction.
I remember that here. It was like right when the season was starting.
Yeah.
So we'll pull it back.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go fact check your work because it would be cool if you kind of nailed it.
Nailed it. Stars
have
a new coach.
Yeah. I don't think it's
Question mark?
official
Okay.
yet, but it's happening when everybody's reporting on it. All the writers that know these things. Pete DeBoer. So he is he is a retread kind of coach. He's been in the league a long time. He's coached for 4, I think, different teams. This would be the 4th, I believe. Most recently, Las Vegas, the Golden Knights, who had a few really good seasons under him, but then they didn't make the playoffs last season when they lost to the Stars. But I think it's somewhat of a safe hire, but we'll see. Change of voice, I think, will be good for this group, and we'll see, when this thing gets official, how it goes over and what kind of, beliefs he has and what kind of coach he wants to be, all of that. So I know that we haven't connected. Kelly hasn't talked with him yet and all of that, but it's good. They got to hire a coach. I mean,
yeah,
so we didn't have super strong feelings one way or the other about it's got to be this guy. They kind of took a chance on Jim Montgomery a few years ago. He was the younger, new NHL head coach that they hoped could be with this team for a long time. And it didn't work out because of off ice stuff.
Right.
So I think they're just kind of wanting a safe hire, somebody they know. And he does have a really good winning track record in his career. So we'll see. That's good.
Yeah, it's exciting. Fun times.
Yep.
Exciting new boss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's on your feed is brought to us by Globe Life, our friends at Globe Life, where I go all the time. Not to Globe Life, but to Globe Life Field. I actually saw their corporate headquarters. It's up north, north of Dallas. I was driving. Where was I driving to? Anyway, I was like, oh, look. It's
awesome.
the Globe Life.
We should pop in there sometime.
Yeah, you think I should stop by and tell them about our beneficiaries? Okay, so the job market right now is a different landscape than it used to be, but whether you're attempting to balance your work and home life or find a career that aligns with your goals and needs, it is a lot to juggle. If you're looking for a career path that offers a flexible schedule, the ability to make a difference, and the independence to build your own business, take a look at Globe Life. Anyone watching the Texas Rangers play has seen the name Globe Life, but people may not know how much opportunity is there and how many successful women thrive in their careers with Globe Life. If you've never considered the insurance industry, you should know a growing number of women are finding true success within it. Globe Life has been around for generations and prides itself on being committed to make tomorrow better. With virtual and in-person business models, you can find success wherever you are. If you want to be paid what you're worth, keep a flexible schedule, and find meaning in your career, all while being engaged in what matters most at home, reach out to Globe Life today at globelifeagents.com. It could change your trajectory in a way you never thought possible. That's globelifeagents.com to discover what a career at Globe Life can do for you. Okay, I didn't have anything specific for what's on your feed, as far as social media feed, but I wanted to tell you a story about what was happening on my text feed this weekend.
Okay, that's a feed.
So it was Hattie's birthday. Oh, and we could talk about that. It wasn't on my feed. I got really funny response, not funny, but sweet response from Joey Gallo.
Yes.
Sent Hattie a video. So Hattie is obsessed with Joey. Like she loves him. She's always loved him. Like she'll ask like, when the Yankees come, can Joey stay at our house? Like when they come to town to play. And I'm like, no, honey, that's not,
that's not how it works.
It's not. Yeah. And she's like, well, he could stay with us. He could stay in the guest room. And I was like, that's very kind. I think Joey's going to pass on staying with us while the Yankees are in town at the end of the season. But anyway, so she asked for two, and she's also obsessed with Elvis Andrus. And so she had asked for two, the only thing she asked for her birthday were an Elvis A's jersey and a Joey Yankees jersey. So we got her those. And I was thinking to myself, we FaceTimed, Elvis and I FaceTimed with Hattie the last time we were in Oakland. So she's gotten to see him. But I thought she hasn't seen Joey. And so I just texted Joey and I'm like, hey, will you please send Hattie a quick birthday message? And usually when I do that, Joey will say, what do I say? You know, cause he's like, and it is awkward. Right. But I think because he actually knows Hattie and he was, all he asked was, how old is she? And so I told her she's turning 9. And so he records a sweet little like 10-second video. And it's like, hey, Hattie, you know, happy 9th birthday. I miss you. I wish I could see you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And it melted me. But I'm thinking like, so I show it to her as soon as he sends it to me because it pops up on my car thing. That's like message from Joey Gallo. And so Hattie's like, why is Joey texting you? And I was like, okay. So and I show her the video and she's got friends in the car. And so I play the video for her. And she immediately starts bawling, like hands over her eyes and starts bawling. I was like, honey, I did not want the Rangers to trade him.
Oh, it like brought back all these memories.
I know. And I was like, damn it. I just thought you were like, think you were cool in front of your friends. Like, no,
it's like her first heartbreak.
Because when I told her he got traded, she bawled. We were in a restaurant and she bawled there. Like there's something about, and I don't think she like has I don't think she like has a crush on him because she asked like if Joey gets married, am I going to be the flower girl? These are the things she says. Like
she's not like I'm going to marry him.
No, but there's something that like that I don't know, and it's
a connection.
Yeah, and it's happened over the course of spring trainings when my kids go with me and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, there is some kind of thing she has for Joey, and so it was super, super sweet. And so I was really, really grateful for that. But the story I was going to tell you was, so she had a sleepover with 5 of her friends, and the thing they want to do at this age, they want a caution tape. Are you familiar with this?
No, is it like new toilet papering?
It is, but I will say downside of caution taping, it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
The upside of caution taping, if you get caution taped, it's way easier to clean up. Like think about the toilet paper.
Oh, I hate it.
Yes.
People are doing that on my street. And I've told Kelly, no one better do that to my house because I don't need one more task.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Don't add tasks to my house and don't make it a wet, mushy toilet paper task.
Okay. So we went away from the toilet paper. We had some incidents with pools and all that kind of stuff. And then we kind of just were like, okay, let's nix the toilet paper in on caution taping. Yes, it's a beating to clean up, but whatever. It is what it is. We wanted to do it when we were young. They're not out, spray painting people's houses. It's caution tape. So the girls wanted to go. And so we go caution taping. And so
you're driving them around?
Yes. So I took them to 2 houses to caution tape. And then we had one more that I said, you can do one in our neighborhood. So our best friends live 4 houses down. So they're like, okay, we're in, we're going to do the earlies. And I get a text message the next, cause then I'm like, I can go home, have a glass of wine, and then they can just run home. Cause it's like right down the street. And so I get a text from Jeff. I mean, keep in mind, Mike and Jeff grew up together. These are like best friends.
Yeah.
Feel free to send Hattie and the girls down whenever to clean up the mess.
He was mad.
Oh, he was livid.
Oh no.
So I just text back, LOL. And he was like, no, I'm serious. This shit, whatever. We're gone all day, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, so then I'm like, no, I'm having too much fun. And I'm like, don't worry, it's biodegradable.
You're just effing with him.
It'll disintegrate at some point. So then we go to the pool, and then Hattie goes to spend the night with my mom, and then I get another text. So they're gone all day. He gets back, and it's still there. And he's like, please send Hattie down to clean this up. And I was like, oh, she spent the night with my mom. He was like, this shit is out of control. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're ridiculous. I was like, your kids have done this with my children. Like,
right.
Just so you know.
Was it the first time that's happened to them?
No. And then he went on to say that it was cute the first 85 times, and now this shit's getting old and blah. And I'm like, and I said, oh, okay. And then I said, okay, Karen. And so then he ends up cleaning it up. And then he comes and dumps it in our driveway. My gosh. And so I text a picture to because his wife was Lisa, my best friend. And there's 5 of us on this text. And this are just our fun little group or whatever. And I text a picture and I was like, Jeff, Earl we call him Earl. Earl is the Karen of caution taping. He was so livid.
Well.
But I
just said.
Right.
I don't want that.
Right. But that's fine.
I know it's going to happen.
But that's the thing is you don't determine it.
Right.
The kids think it's fun and cool. They actually think it's cool when they get caution taped. But I'm like, you don't have to clean it up. That's your kids clean it up. That's the whole thing. That's the way this operation's supposed to work.
But kids don't always do what we tell them to do.
You make. I'm
trying to get him to clean up his room and more important things.
Okay, but this is easy.
Yeah.
Cleaning up a room is a little harder. But caution, maybe go pull the caution tape and just put it in a pile.
It's easier than toilet papering. It sounds.
Oh, wait.
How do we get them to fertilize or water the flowers? Hey, I have a new fun game. Let's go watering.
That's good. Let's go watering. There you go.
We could do that. I could handle that.
So that's a thing. And then flagging.
Let's go walk the dog of your friend.
Yeah. There's flagging, where they put the flags in the ground. The forking, which apparently is a huge giant bitch because you stick the fork in and sometimes you pull it out and it breaks off.
Oh,
but anyway,
what's the point of forking?
I don't know.
So then they walk out and there's just forks.
Oh, I'm just saying.
My back hurts already thinking about picking up all those little
because
forks.
It's ready. And I mean, listen, we won't be caution taping Karen anymore. But it was so funny because he was so.
You weren't expecting that,
and I wasn't. And I wasn't. I just was, then at that point, I just was thought it was funny to F with him.
Right.
The biodegradable, it'll disintegrate.
Yeah.
And he's just steaming.
That's
he was funny. I know I'm a grumpy old man with this, but this shit's out of control. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Emily's the cool mom.
No, I mean, listen, and we go pretty all out on birthdays because I do miss so much during baseball season. And I purposely take off my kids' birthdays or when they're having their party or whatever. So I can, kind of, I don't know. And I think it's, it's like I told one of my friends, I was like, Mom, guilt will make you do some crazy ass shit. And so if that's what she wanted to do on her birthday, that's what I was going to let her do.
It was her birthday.
I think I don't know. I just think it's kind of part of, we went rapping all the time.
Yeah,
and it was so
we did it
fun.
Too. We did it too.
And I know it's not fun to clean up. Oh, it definitely is.
It's just the tired mom in me that's like,
but you don't clean it up. Your kids clean it up.
Okay.
Your kids clean it up. Yes. Because or you say this, okay, if you don't clean it up, you're never going toilet papering or you're never going caution taping or forking or flagging or whatever. So you set the precedent. Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to go do it? Fine. I'll take you to do it. If this shit happens to our house, you're cleaning that up.
Yeah. I didn't know we were going to have a caution tape debate today. We're debating.
I just thought it was so funny, and I love you because you have the same perspective as Jeff.
Yeah,
where you're like
I'm just tired. I don't need anything else to do. But I get it. The kids also need something fun to do if you're having a slumber party.
And I will tell you, when kids get caution taped, my kids think it's cool. Yeah, and they want to go look at the camera and figure out if they can figure out who it was.
Yeah. It's alive and well in our neighborhood, but I think there's still toilet paper, and I haven't seen the caution tape yet. Maybe Fort Worth is on the cutting edge.
But I will say caution tape greater than toilet paper. Easier to clean up, although it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll see what's happening. It's going to be a while, hopefully, for me. But
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
So now it is time to head on over to the
special guest today.
To the special guest on the TMG news desk, because this is a company that I kept seeing in my feed. It's newsworthy right now, and we are excited to introduce you to this guest.
Right. But who is it brought to us by?
It is brought to us by MSU Flower Mound today. Our friends at MSU Flower Mound are back on with the mom game for the summer, and right now is the time that they want you to listen up. If you're listening to this and maybe feeling a little bit uneasy about what it is that you're doing, about your career. Maybe it doesn't pay enough. Maybe you want to be home more with the kids. But there's one thing standing in the way from you in that next step, and that is education. MSU Flower Mound is here to help. You can take all of their classes at home. It's very convenient. It can fit into your life however you need it to. Right now, they're focusing on getting the word out about nursing, radiologic sciences, respiratory care, all of those kinds of things that are very much in demand. Honestly, no matter where it is that you live, if you're going to move or whatever, there's always going to be a need for these jobs, and MSU Flower Mound can help hook you up. Study from home. You can become a working therapist, a clinician, things that are important. So get out of that little rut that you're in right now. Give Randy a call at MSU Flower Mound. I didn't even mention they have the number 3 best nursing school in the state. No, I'm wrong. Number 2, the number 2 best nursing school in the state at MSU Flower Mound. So they're going to hook you up so you can just find whatever it is in your life that will get you maybe in a better place financially and give you a little bit more free time with your family, perhaps. So msutexas.com/Flower Mound. Give them a call. Mention that you heard about MSU on the Mom Game. You go find Randy, tell him you heard about MSU on the Mom Game, and he might even offer you some sort of partial scholarship just for mentioning the Mom Game. And we're so happy that they're using us to help get the word out about them. You can even reach us if you are interested in this, and we can help connect you to Randy. We're just really trying to help them get the message out ahead of the next school year, and you can really get going anytime this summer. So our friends at MSU Flower Mound, go give them a call, and they are awesome, and they are bringing us this week's guest.
Yes, let's get to that guest.
Of course, here on the Mom Game, we love featuring moms who are doing awesome things. We love sports. So we found the perfect guest, I think, that combines the two things. This is Kelly Pracht. She is the CEO of nVenue. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Yeah, we're excited too. So tell us what nVenue is, first of all.
All right. So nVenue, what we do is we do predictive analytics in real time for sports so that fans can engage in the game itself. And it has a great need in media as well as in sports betting. So you can play along and actually predict and play along with what's going to happen.
Big fan of the gambling over here. So you're speaking my language. I was reading an article on you. You grew up in West Texas. Dad was a coach. Tell me more about that. I'm a West Texas girl myself.
That's right. So I found myself in the Midland, Odessa area.
Oh.
My dad was a basketball coach at Midland High.
Okay.
But it also meant that he coached football as well, JV football. So we found our way to Friday night lights all the time. Permian and Midland High games and Midland League games. And then my brothers played. So my whole life was like Friday night lights, 2-a-days, going to practices, watching other teams, driving up to Tech on the weekends and watching them play, and then back for the Cowboys games.
So huge sports fan as long as you can remember.
As long as I could remember. I think I was throwing a spiral. My brothers taught me to throw a spiral by the time I was 10. So
awesome.
Always. And actually, that's where the name of our company came from, is we spent so much time at venues and stadiums and getting into Mile High. I'd be doing cartwheels, across the 50-yard line. So nVenue is a natural name for our company.
Awesome. Well, in reading and researching you guys a little bit too, I love how this all kind of came together for you, and it, I think, is taking off now. Mm-hmm. But your background is in technology and working in software, that kind of thing. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing and how you maybe had the light bulb moment that there could be combining the two things, technology and sports, and coming up with this company.
Oh, gosh. So I worked in tech, in R&D, designing computers, servers, edge devices for almost 20 years.
How do you do that?
So over my head. Whoa.
That's what you studied for?
That's what I studied for and what I did. And it was fun. It was a challenge. I got into engineering just because I wanted to solve big problems. And that's what I was doing. And it led me closer and closer to the customer. And I found myself a few years ago working in media transcoding and meeting with the CTOs of big media companies.
What are CTOs?
Chief Technology Officers.
Okay.
Yes.
I kind of knew, but I just wanted to make sure.
There's a CMO, CEO, CFO. There's a lot. Yeah, we're going to run out of letters.
But with the leaders in technology, we were meeting with them, and I found myself in New York at the HBO offices, and we were pitching and talking about edge technology, and we were talking to the leaders of the industry, and it became very clear to me that they didn't understand how to take tech and use it in way that was applicable to real sports fans. And in fact, that was the day that the Astros were there playing the wild cards against the Yankees. And I was thrilled. And, I hopped on, not a single one of them was interested in the game. So I hopped on the subway, went to the game, sat there and watched fans play, interact, talk. And I was like, we need to do something with tech and with sports. And that was when it began.
Wow, awesome. And so
I won't hold the Astros thing against you. Are you an Astros fan? Yeah, you live in Houston. You're an Astros fan.
She's allowed.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, of course you're allowed. You're allowed. It's been a rough several years against the Astros for my little Rangers, but hopefully we'll be turning the corner here soon.
Yeah.
So how does it work? And I know you're a big player in baseball now as far as the Apple TV broadcast. Right. Tell me how that evolved and how big of a coup was that for you and your company?
Well, it may seem like it was overnight, but it was actually like a long time in the works. So from the time we first started coding to say, hey, we can take this supercomputing technology that we've been working on and turn it into something that the fans can interact with, that was the course of about 4 years. 4 years of coding and literally probably 100 baseball games at Minute Maid Park, just timing and watching and figuring out what we were going to do. But about 2 weeks before the season started. So I think the lockout had just ended, and we got a call from one of our brethren companies in Houston that said, hey, are you able to put your stuff on air in 2 weeks? It turned out it was Apple TV. And we said yes. And that was a scary 2 weeks, but we'd been ready. We'd been preparing for 4 years, and we worked with MLB Network, got it on air, and here we are today about 9 weeks later, and it's going really well.
So when you say get your stuff on air, I know what you're talking about, but for people that don't, what are you putting on air? What can people see on the broadcast, and what can they do with it?
Right. So we have for every single game, there can be a lot of games going on at one time. We have about 40 servers cranking away on the cloud, in the Amazon system that basically says this batter is coming up against this pitcher. And then we use technology and use all of their history, and we run machine learning and say, here's what the past data says should happen. And we turn that into something called an API, which all it really is a stream of data that the MLB network grabs and interacts with some software. And then they choose what to show, click, and put it on air. And those are the source of the little probabilities that show up on the bottom right. Now, that's just a piece of what we do. There's really a lot more analytics behind it that will say interesting things like, it's a 60% chance of a reach, which, by the way, is enormously high for this particular situation, or this player's on a trend or a streak or a slump, and we can predict and give interesting things to say about those. But right now, all you see is just a little tip of the iceberg of what we're doing behind the scenes.
Wow.
So analytics in sports is just such a monster that has developed. I mean, when I started in sports almost 25 years ago, there was none of this, you had stats, but like there wasn't this, this deep dive. So I guess, do you feel like you guys are kind of on the forefront of what you're doing as far as the broadcast element of it and the predictive element of it?
I really do. One of the things that frustrated me as a fan, just a longtime sports fan of all sports and participating in sports, is that stats didn't mean anything to me in the moment. And I wasn't the type to go and memorize, what everything was or how our player does or what the split is or how he does versus a lefty for a righty or at home away. Those things, you cannot digest all of that in the course of 15 seconds between each pitch. And so I would find myself texting my brothers, especially when we were playing the Rangers. And I remember conversations like, what, Joey Gallo was up to bat. And I'm like, I'll bet you he's going to fly out to right field because, the data really says that he flies out to right field. And so we would have these great, interesting conversations about what was about to happen. And so that had nothing to do with the stats. It had everything to do with intuition and what he's done in the past and what we've seen. And that's what our company does, is we're on the forefront of taking data and making it really much more digestible in the moment. And that was my mission all along, is to make it more fun and more engaging for the people that are watching.
So it's catering to the fans, like what the fans would want to know when they're watching a game, what maybe they would want to bet on, right? And with the way the sports world is moving in terms of gambling and things becoming more legalized, and I guess, how do you see it all growing in that regard? Because I almost can see a point where people aren't even going to watch a game if they can't like put some money on it one way or another, or find a way to almost feel like they're a bigger part of the game.
And it's all about engagement. Like, it's all about engaging in the moment. And I'm not a sports bettor. Not, I don't go out and bet, on the over-unders and who's going to win. But I'm totally in the moment. And I'll make simple bets with my family or my husband or people that are around me, even my kids. What's going to happen? Is it going to be a home run? Is it going to, I'm a casual bettor like that. And I think there's a lot of us that are like that.
Yeah.
And so what we casual bettors or casual people that are watching the game, things like a line is a mystery. Like, what is a plus 140? What's a minus 120? I don't know, but a probability I do know. I do know that, a 90% chance that a player reaches base. I know that's hella good, and we're really excited about that. So the language is changing. It's making it more social, and it'll make it a lot more fun, I think, long term.
Yeah.
I feel like you could use your powers to make me a lot of money if we worked this in the right way. Just kidding.
She does have powers.
Yeah. So we talked about baseball. Is it just baseball right now? Are you looking to break into other sports, or are you already there?
We're already there. I talk about baseball because I'm the baseball person of the crew. But we have our founders, every executive on our team. We're all sports lovers, even down to our tech people. And so we all have little niches, and we have a football product. We have an NBA product, both coming out this year. We're adding in hockey. So those are the big four. But we're real excited about sports that people want to engage in that they don't get a lot of this attention. I remember somebody prominent within cricket contacted me. Can you please do cricket?
Oh, cool.
Because they have a huge following. We're really excited about golf. So altogether we have 9 sports that are slated for the next year and a half. And then, we just need to keep developing and growing so that we can do that for all sports, because it's about engaging.
Wow. So now, what are some of the challenges that you guys have dealt with and kind of breaking into this world, being a female in a sports tech kind of world? What have you had to deal with along the way?
Oh, gosh. I think you only have a few minutes for this story. I went from tech, and, the ratios of women in tech are pretty low. Then 4 years ago, when I jumped into this, I went into sports tech, and it went down. Now I'm sports tech for betting in the betting industry. So I am one of the lonely onlys for sure. So there's always lots of stories, but the latest thing that I heard that I really value is, if you can see it, be it. And I think that's who I am now. Like, that's what I represent as, a woman in the sports tech betting field, is just, surviving, continuing, doing well, talking, being present. And that's everything to me.
That's awesome. It must be really cool to have this vision and see it all come to life, to where you're trying to keep up now with the potential that your company has. It has to be really fun for you every day.
It's so exciting. We, my co-founders and I, we literally pinch ourselves. And like, coming on this show was such a huge coup. Like, my whole team is impressed with me now, because I get to talk with you guys.
Happy to help.
I know. And so, no, we meet people, and it's incredible. Like, we brought on Matthew Berry as one of our advisors, and like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And the people we're meeting, we're talking to owners, we're talking to teams, we're talking to, just for me though, I idolize basically the people who put tech and sports together. So when I spent time at the MLB Network, actually with the Apple broadcast and interacting with the guys in the crew and the production crew, like, that's so cool. Like, that's the best thing ever. So
what about for you personally? Mom, you're a mom?
I am a mom of 2. My kids are grown.
Okay.
And I have a grandson who's 7 who lives with us as well. So we have a full house of all kinds of ages. And, again, sports were a part of our life with our kids too. So we were coaching softball and coaching baseball. And it's sports is family to us. So.
Is this a family business? Will your kids?
No. They didn't take on to sports in the same way that I did.
Okay.
They didn't have a crazy West Texas family that lived like that. But it is a family business. One of my co-founders is my brother. And so we do this together, kind of in honor of our dad who passed away not long ago.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's, and so we just pinch ourselves all the time about where we get to be and what we get to do. And our dream is to go to SoFi. Like, that was, we were angling to get into the Super Bowl last year, but
Hey, sounds like it's not far away for you guys.
This year, we're going to do it.
There you go. I love it. Well, I hope you achieve all of those dreams. I know I was super excited to get to have you on and to learn about this world that I feel like is really, really growing in sports. And so to be on the forefront of it is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So congrats on all of your success. And it's been wonderful to meet you and have you on.
You brought our IQ up just by being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
I know. Well, it was awesome. Okay, we close out every show with throw up the peace signs, look into your camera and say, Mom, game out. You ready?
Okay.
Peace sign.
We're nice and cheesy like that.
Oh, it's so cheesy. We started at we're 119 episodes in. We got to keep it up. All right.
Let's do it.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mom game out.